Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and for today's video we are going to be going over Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi Shuttle. Set 75362 comes with 599 pieces and retails for $80. Alright, so taking a look at the box, we can see that in the bottom right corner we get 4 minifigures, and that is going to be Ahsoka Tano, Sabine Wren, Professor Huyang, and Marok. And going over the box art, it looks really nice. The background we can see is a space theme with a planet in the right, which I don't know what planet that is, but nonetheless it does look nice. And looking over to the side, we can see that it is just box art, very standard for a Lego set. And looking to the top of the set, we can see that we have a one-to-one picture of what a minifigure in this set is going to look like. And looking to the back of the box, we can see that we have our minifigures in action and our features laid out for us that will be coming in this set. Alright, so opening up this set, we are going to try to use the thumb tabs. And, oh, yep. Alright, thumb tabs work. This is a very tall instruction manual. I don't know why they made it like this, but I mean, it's just a manual, so yeah, it's fine. So yeah, with that said, we have a bit of bags to work with here, so let's get to building. Alright guys, so here is the finished product, and I have to say from a first look, this looks absolutely amazing. At least from one side, and we will get into that a little bit later into the review. But for now, let's go over these amazing minifigures that we have lined up. So first off, we are going to be going over Ahsoka Tano herself, and looking at this figure, this is the best Ahsoka Tano minifigure that we have ever gotten. Taking a look at the new Leku, we can see that this is a big step up from the previous iteration of Ahsoka. For one, the shape is way different. We can see on the older one that her Leku is a lot bigger and it does not fit her character. And then taking a look at the actual minifigure, we could see that she has arm printing, which is very much welcomed in the Lego community. But looking at her actual printing, we can see that the robe was very well portrayed, and it has a continuous printing going from the torso all the way down to the legs. And her back printing also looks very nicely done as well. I would have to say that my favorite feature about this new Ahsoka figure is actually her accessories, being her clear lightsabers. Alright, and moving forward to Sabine Wren, she is one of the better looking minifigures in this set. As you can see, she comes with a lot of accessories, the most accessories in this set being her green lightsaber, her purple hair, and her 2 blasters. Alright, and now taking a look at Sabine with her helmet on. Firstly, we can see that Lego did a very nice job with the printing. It is very accurate and detailed, and it stays true to what we see in the show. And then moving down to her torso, we can see that it has the nice reflective printing with the purple and yellow accents, giving it that little flair that we see in the Ahsoka show. And then further moving down to her legs, we can see that her belts are printed beautifully. And then looking over to her side, we can see that she has no arm printing, unfortunately. But then moving over to her back, we can see that she has back printing, which is always very nice. Alright, so now we have Sabine's helmet off and her lightsaber in hand. So taking a look at her hair first, going all around, this is going to be after she cut it, and we can see that it is accurate and a nice shade of purple. And of course, she comes with a second face, with it being more angry than the first one. And next up we have Huyang, which has probably got to be my least favorite minifigure in this set, even though he is not a bad minifigure by any means. I'd say the reason why he's my least favorite figure in this set has got to be because of his body and his color. And what I mean by that is that he's a droid, and he's supposed to have a droid's body and not a human's body, like we'd see on Sabine or Ahsoka back there. And on top of that, it is the wrong color. It's supposed to be a silver just like in the show, but here for some reason it is a tan. And looking down to his torso and his legs, we can see that they are nicely printed, nicely detailed, but there's not really too much to talk about there. It's pretty standard for a minifigure. And turning him over to his side, there's not really much going on there. As you can see, there's not really printing on his arms. And looking to his back, we can see that there's some nice wires exposed that are printed right there, and he actually does come with a brick built backpack with a printed tile. One thing that I forgot to mention before moving on is that his head mold is very accurate, and I love it. Everything about it is done perfectly, his face, and even the little light in the top left. Up last is going to be Marok. He is my second favorite minifigure in this whole entire set, next to Ahsoka. And looking at him, you can see he has a very medieval look to him, from his chest plate all the way up to his helmet. His helmet especially has a medieval look to it, and as we can see underneath, he has just a black face because we never really get to see his face, so that is completely accurate there. And with that said, moving down to his torso and legs, we can see that it is a very rustic, dirty looking suit of armor that he has there, which adds to that medieval type of look. And turning him over to his side, we can see that there is no arm printing, but it really doesn't matter since it is covered up by that pad. And looking to his back, we can see the same theme with the very rustic, dirty looking armor. Now moving past the minifigure portion of this review, I would say that it is time to move on to Ahsoka's T6 shuttle itself. Giving it a full 360 turnaround, we can see that the wings are tiled off in all the right places to give it that nice slanted red looking design you can see going from the middle all the way to the back. And then turning it over to the back, we can see even the engines were done with a nice detail, with the thrusters being these blue transparent plates. And then turning it back around, we can see that nice gray and red color scheme, which is something I would like to talk about. They really achieved that red and gray color scheme in a nice way, with tiles and studs both mixed in to make the perfect combination. And to add to that, this ship is very well built, and from my experience building it, this was a very fun build, especially moving back to the engines. These were especially fun to put together. So taking a closer look at the ship, we can go over some of the features. So looking inside, we can see that there is a little compartment right here to store any lightsabers, guns, or just any accessories in general. But with that, we can close this up and we can turn it over to the side and see that there is another compartment in which you can open. And this houses Hugh Yang's tools. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is supposed to be his toolkit. He has a wrench right here, and you just clip that on, and then you put that in there, and he is good to go. It also attaches by one stud right there. It's the red one right there. That's how this attaches to there, and it's very easy to take out. I have never had any problems with putting it in and taking it out, so that has also been very nice. And looking to the front, we can see that there are actually two nicely placed stud shooters, which don't look bad actually. You could leave the stud shooters on and this ship would not look bad on display. But with that out of the way, I think it is time to get into the cockpit. But right before we open this up, it is nice to note that this is a printed piece and not a sticker. And opening this up and tilting it forward, we can see that the cockpit is actually rather small, and it is a little disappointing that we can only fit one minifigure out of the whole set in this ship. But I think, as I said earlier, that this is a stable build. I don't think it's going to fall apart on you too easy, and I think that's that trade-off that LEGO had to make when building this set. On the plus side, we can see that the inside is completely tiled off and the seat is actually built very nicely, and there is a printed control panel right there. And then we could sit Ahsoka in there and she just slots in. There is no studs that she needs to be attached to, and she fits perfectly in there. And looking to the underside, we can see that this whole time this ship was being held up by these two little foldable flaps, which is the landing gear of this set. And I'd say that it does a very nice job at keeping it up, because without them open, this ship falls flat very easily and tilts over. Picking up the set, and now we are going to move over to the most enticing feature of this set. But before we do that, you're going to have the landing gear closed in, or else it is not going to work. But with that, this can actually turn, and we see that it has a very nice design on one side, and it is very easy to hold. This is actually a very nicely sized ship. It doesn't all fit in frame, as you guys can see. A lot of the top wing is being cut off, but in flight mode it looks very nice, and you can hold it by either wing and this is not going to break off. Going back to what I was saying earlier, how it looks nice on one side, but when we turn it over to the opposing side, you guys can see it is pretty bare and there's not really much on there. It's just straight gray. But yeah, I don't think that this is a very big deal, because for collectors like me, we're just going to display this, and this side is always going to be facing up. So flipping it back around, I think this is going to be one of the main ways that you are going to display this, and handling it like this is actually very easy. A good way to handle this is just by taking it from the fin, or if you want to play with it, if you're a kid, you can just take it by the fin and this is not going to fall off on you. Now granted, the wings are going to tilt a little bit because they are a bit loose in my opinion, but this is not going to fall off. This is a set that I would recommend picking up for any Ahsoka fan or just Star Wars fan in general, because when we include the factor of the minifigures and their desirability, I would say that this set is well worth $80. So that's going to end off the video, so if you liked today's review, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. On top of that, make sure to leave us a comment telling us what you think about this set, and along with any suggestions that you may have for us or the channel. But with that, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all later.